Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about caffeine, and I was hesitant to even talk about this because, a little backstory here, I stopped using Twitter about, I don't even know now, a few months ago, because I put a tweet out there. I don't even remember what it said. It said something along the lines of how I haven't used caffeine in X amount of time, and how I feel great, and how you don't need to use it as a crutch. I'll put the tweet here. Something like that, and for whatever reason, it blew up on Twitter, and people were like attacking me and coming at me, and like all of these caffeine lovers were like, I don't know, it just like made me hate Twitter. So I literally deleted the app, logged off, and I haven't used Twitter since. I'm gonna start using Twitter again today, but that's besides the point. All I meant by that tweet is that my experience in ditching caffeine in order to decrease stress, help my sleep, and just live a less dependent lifestyle on a caffeinated beverage has been life-changing. And I just want others to know that you don't have to depend on caffeine in order to feel like a normal human. You shouldn't depend on caffeine in order to get through your workout or get through your day. It's not necessary, and if you feel like you're using it as a crutch, do a little self-reflecting. See how your sleep is. Are you getting 8+ hours a night? If no, maybe work on that first. See how your stress levels are. Most people are in a super high stress period 24 hours a day, and that's just not a healthy way to live. So before you depend on something like caffeine, look at how your biofeedback is first. That's like step one. Are you serious? Do you guys hear a cow snoring over there? Like all of these noises today, I'm sorry. So I just wanted to make this quick little video and talk a little bit about what ditching caffeine did for me. I did take a good 4 or 5 months without drinking any caffeine at all. I went cold turkey, and just to give you a little bit of a background, I was that person that would have a white Monster every single day, sometimes a medium coffee on top of that. I'd had some source of caffeine every day, and usually it was an excessive amount. It got to the point where I felt like I couldn't have a good training session without having that white Monster. And I don't know why I even stopped drinking the white Monsters, but if you didn't know, white Monsters are they kind of have been populated by the powerlifting community. It's like this golden nugget that you bring with you to your training session, and you could see it all over Instagram. You see it probably if you go back into my full day of eating videos or any of my powerlifting videos on here, you'll probably see a white Monster on the ground next to me in the gym. And I think the turning point was definitely coming off the birth control pill for me. At that point, I decided I needed to focus on my overall health. And part of that process was ditching the caffeine, because if you didn't know, caffeine has a huge effect on your stress levels, your adrenals, and your sleep. And those were 3 things that were suffering for me at the time. So I decided to just go cold turkey, ditch the caffeine. Now I do have caffeine probably 2 or 3 times a week at most on an as wanted basis, just because I do love a good cup of coffee in the morning. The 3 forms that I have caffeine are half-calf coffee, which is a little bit less caffeine, matcha tea or the Vital Proteins matcha collagen, and the mushroom coffee from Four Sigmatic, which is less caffeine than normal coffee, and it's more of a steady energy due to the mushrooms that are in there. So those are the 3 sources of caffeine that I currently have. And over the time period that I ditched coffee completely, I learned a lot about my body. So that's what I'm going to cover in the rest of this video. The first thing I learned was I realized how good I can feel without having that caffeine every day. And I do want to say that caffeine does benefit your training, and there are studies to show that it is beneficial. But what I'm talking about here is just getting my overall health in alignment. And when your adrenals are suffering, when your stress is super high, when your sleep is completely off, you probably don't want to be consuming caffeine in excess amounts. So just throwing that out there. I'm not shit talking on caffeine. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but look at the rest of your lifestyle before you decide that you need caffeine every day. The second thing I noticed from ditching caffeine was that my sleep improved drastically, you guys, like night and day, literally. I used to wake up every night to use the bathroom 1 or 2 times a night, which is not normal, even if you do drink a lot before bed. I used to have a hard time falling asleep. I just felt like I couldn't shut my brain off. And I used to, when I did wake up to use the bathroom, or if I just woke up randomly, I would have a hard time falling back asleep too, because my brain would automatically just be going. And then in the morning, I would wake up and I would have such a hard time getting out of bed. Like, no matter if I got 8 hours of sleep, 9 hours of sleep, or 5 hours of sleep, it was always the same in the morning. I just felt drained. So when I completely cut caffeine out, I didn't notice a change with my sleep right away, but after probably about 3 or 4 weeks, my sleep was just like, oh my God, it was so much better. Like, I was in deeper sleep. I was remembering my dreams. It was just, I wasn't waking up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night anymore. I don't do that anymore, which is like huge. Just so many positive changes with my sleep from not having caffeine. So it was just like, thank God. And then the last thing that I learned from ditching caffeine is that my stress levels have come down just tenfold. So before, even like a year ago, or like when I was powerlifting, I never really rated my own stress levels. I never really realized how stressed I actually was. I kind of just thought it was normal, and maybe it is. I know a lot of people deal with stress. Everybody deals with stress, but the way I was responding to my stress was not beneficial. So when I ditched caffeine, my stress levels definitely came down a lot, like a lot. I wasn't getting overwhelmed with stupid things. I wasn't getting overwhelmed with work. I just felt much more calm and at ease, and just literally just calm, cool, and collected. Like, that's how I want to say it made me feel, because I always felt like I was on this other level, all hopped up all the time when I had coffee or when I had that Monster. And ditching that made me realize that coming down a little bit was okay. So to sum it up, ditching caffeine has been hugely beneficial in my life. I know some people out there, maybe you're thinking this, if you're watching this, think you can never ditch coffee. You need your coffee every day. I promise you, you don't need it. It may be a little bit hard in the beginning, and you may go through some headaches and withdrawals in the beginning without it, but I promise you, at least taking the time to at least decrease your caffeine consumption and start focusing more on things like sleep and your stress levels and just overall health will be so beneficial to you. And you'll realize, hopefully, that you don't need to depend on these caffeinated beverages every single day. If you have any questions on this topic, obviously leave a comment below, or if you want to chime in, maybe you ditched caffeine, or maybe you are trying to, or you're struggling, comment below. I always answer the comments, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.